Welcome to Star Wars Newsnet, everybody. We have some breaking news to get into. I'm John Hoey. Thank you for joining me today. Joining me, as always, on the Resistance broadcast is James Baney and Lacey Gilleran. We're going to get into a story that came out on Star Wars Day, fittingly enough. And this is that Taika Waititi is indeed going to be directing and co-writing a feature film for Lucasfilm for the Star Wars brand, and he'll be co-writing that with Krysty Wilson-Cairns, who you may know from 1917, which is the movie that pretty much took everybody by storm during the award season, all stuff like that. So, and so did Taika himself. So let's just start with immediate reactions. We'll obviously get into more of this on the Resistance broadcast in depth on our Monday show, our news show, but we wanted to do a little breaking news here for Star Wars Newsnet. So, James, I'll start with you on this. Taika, were you excited when you heard the news, and what are your initial thoughts? And also, obviously, with the co-writer and everything down the line with this project.
So it's kind of interesting because obviously this was covered by a trade earlier, or it was kind of rumored. I think even when he was announced for Mandalorian, it was kind of one of those situations where you're like, that's an interesting pick. It's an interesting fit. I like to see where this is going. And now that he's been officially announced, it almost seems a little bit more like a retrospective, like, oh yeah, that the Mandalorian was kind of a grooming in my opinion. Mm-hmm. Now that might not be the case. It might be like, hey, we picked him for this because he's awesome and he loved it. So therefore the talks started happening. I don't know, but, I personally like the pick. I think it's great because he's kind of one of those directors where everything he touches is gold.
So far,
as he's continued his career, he just knocks it out of the park every time, and he doesn't really get bad reception. So it's a welcoming thing to know that he is interested and is going to be moving forward. Because I also kind of see him as someone who would follow through, right?
Yeah.
Which is a big issue, so to speak. Yeah. But that's like my initial thought.
Yeah, I have a lot of things swirling in my mind on that. Lacey, your initial reaction when you first heard it, and what are your thoughts on all this, including Krysty Wilson-Cairns and all the details they released to this point about this next feature Star Wars film?
I don't know a lot about Krysty Wilson besides that she obviously worked on 1917 and that won for like visual effects. It won. Is that the one that was like one big long shot?
It's the war film, yeah. But it won special effects and it won BAFTA for Outstanding British Film of the Year. Nice. It kind of came out of nowhere too.
But she's right. It's all one take.
Yeah. So they had that shot of the actor on the war field, and like he runs into a bunch of extras, and that wasn't supposed to happen, but he just kept going.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I've never seen that. You guys know this. Well, most people know this. I don't like war, which is hilarious because I like Star Wars. But so I don't know if I'd watch 1917. I might watch like just to see what the like video production is like with the one long shot. That's crazy because you have to get all the timing and stuff right. So that's cool. I mean, that movie did really, really well in award season, so that's got me excited. But guys, I am so excited for Taika. It's not even funny. We've been talking about this for months, and I feel like when we talked about it on TRB about like director picks, he always came up as something we would like to see. And I'm pretty sure my initial reaction to these guys was a bunch of swears and caps. Because I was just like so excited.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, John is like getting.
I have a filter. Everything's blurred anyway. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. And John's like actually trying to be professional about it and like do stuff on the website, and I'm over there like, oh my god, what is happening? So I'm really excited.
It's crazy, and I am just fresh off watching the first episode of the documentary. I know a lot of us are at this point for The Mandalorian, and he's featured in that. And I did the review on that, and I had some quotes that I took away from it and I put in my review. And the one from Taika himself, he says, The Mandalorian, and I think he's also kind of talking about Star Wars, but this is his experience with Star Wars as The Mandalorian. He said, it doesn't take itself 100% seriously, but it does believe in itself. And that does kind of encapsulate the spirit of Star Wars to me, because it never really took itself seriously. It is almost like a tribute to other genres and that sort of thing. And there is a campiness to Star Wars that brings its charm. And I feel like he kind of knows that balance if you watch that final chapter in season 1 of The Mandalorian. And then Jon Favreau, who better to give praise than Jon Favreau, who said he knows how... Taika knows how to find the humor in the action, but that's a lot different than making fun of the action. We don't make fun of the action. So he, again, that balancing act, he knows where to his fingers on the pulse at all times, and I'd be curious to see him be able to do that with an entire project himself at the helm as a director. So I am absolutely thrilled about it. I mean, it looks like they have a dream team here, again, with Krysty Wilson-Cairns, who's involved in, she doesn't need Star Wars, obviously, at this point, coming off of 1917. She's going to become a household name, though, now in Star Wars fandom. And then the other thing I want to ask you guys, do you think this is going to be that 2022 film? And we ran a poll on TRB on this. Do you think this is the film that Kevin Feige is going to be producing? James, I'll go back to you.
I do.
On both?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, on both,
All right.
I think. I think that he has probably been, aware of this and working on it for, let's say, 3 or 4 months, maybe. Just getting his ideas together, because I think that's when the initial thing came on that says he's going to be the next person, which probably was locked at that point, and they were waiting until this day to announce it. So he's had it in mind. So his 2 years to complete the project has already started.
Mm-hmm.
Then again, I don't know. I mean, he has other... Sorry about that. He has other projects coming up. Thor,
Sure.
Love and Thunder, and I don't know. I feel like right now I don't have a lot to say, so I'm going to jump over to Lacey, but I think it's one of those things where, I think if you look at his schedule, it'd be pretty easy to figure out if he could potentially even knock another movie out before that date.
Yeah. We'll get into more in depth on the pod, but Lacey, 2022, and is Feige producing this one?
So I say yes and yes immediately, but this contradicts everything I've said for 6 months, which is that
because you want it to be Mandalorian.
A Mandalorian movie, but I was like, maybe I am right. And then I looked at the description and it said a new series with a new, new was in the phrasing. It was a new feature film with and to me, that meant not something we know.
Sure.
But we'll see. There was a clip, though, that I laughed online of Taika getting interviewed, and I wasn't sure what it was for because I just caught it in passing. And it was him talking about J.J. Abrams and being like, my parents wish I could be J.J. Abrams. And I'm just like, okay, Mom and Dad, God, I'm not going to be J.J. Abrams. And I was like, well, now you are.
Right. Yeah, without a doubt. Well, I mean, just think...
Is he still locked into Akira?
I don't know.
I don't know.
That's in development, and it's been in development for a while.
He's a popular guy.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
well, we'll tackle more of that on TRB, but there you have it, guys. That's our initial takes on Taika Waititi. He's going to be directing a brand new feature film for Star Wars. Looks like a blank canvas, which who knows what he's going to put on that canvas, but he's going to be supported and co-writing that with Krysty Wilson-Cairns. And let us know what you think in the comments. What are your initial thoughts on this? And obviously stay tuned on Monday where we'll get into way more in depth on this on the Resistance broadcast. But until then, keep heading to StarWarsNewsNet.com and right here on the Star Wars Newsnet YouTube channel for all of your latest Star Wars news, reviews, and information about a galaxy far, far away. We'll see you around.